Well, I'm Rob Smith. I'm a singer, songwriter, guitarist, producer. I've been writing Christian congregational praise for, a long time. Started in about 1985. I started writing Christian songs not long after I became a Christian. And I discovered, almost by accident, that some of those songs were really quite suitable and adaptable to sort of group singing rather than just performance singing. And so a number of friends of mine in the church where I was said, "Can we sing that?" And so I said, "Well, I guess so." And so we started singing some of my songs, and the more we did that, the more I worked out what kinds of songs lent themselves most effectively to a congregation singing them, rather than just, again, me performing them solo. Well, yeah, a lot has happened in the last 30 years in Christian music and particularly in congregational music. And so we've moved, from a culture that was dominated by traditional hymns. There's been, I think, a whole revolution in bringing secular music styles and secular music production techniques into the making of Christian music. And then the thing I've noticed in the last perhaps 10 years is really a loosening up of, well, you might call it rhythm and meter and so on. So a lot of contemporary songs are just a little less predictable, a little less neat, you might say. So there can just be some flexibilities in the melodies and the rhythms that I know the older generation find almost impossible, but the younger generation just seem to take it in their stride. So that's, I think, been an interesting sort of turn in the last 10 years. Yeah, there are three convictions I have that I think our churches perhaps need to grapple with a little more than some have. And each of them, I think, will help us see the value and importance of singing. Firstly, it is a form of praise that God has not only sanctioned in Scripture, but commanded us to engage in. This is an important activity. It's not an optional thing that we can just take or leave. Secondly, it's a way of praying. We don't just have to say our prayers. Of course, we can and should do that, but we can sing them as well. And singing them adds an extra dimension to them. It enables us to sing them together in a helpful and often beautiful way, but it also can enable us to pray in a very meaningful way that, again, engages parts of us that perhaps aren't as affected or aren't as engaged when we just speak. And then thirdly, singing is a way in which we teach each other. Not only do we remember the things we sing, but we help each other as we sing them to each other. Often we need to hear the truth from our brothers and sisters, because sometimes we can't quite say it to ourselves in the same way that someone else can say it to us. And singing the truth to each other is a profound way of strengthening one another in the faith.